Hey everybody, this is Robert from Black Belt Gaming, continuing my playthrough of Adventure 2. For the first time, Alaros the fighter has been joined by the Cleric and the Wizard, and we've played through sort of a first, everybody had a chance to take their first turn. We took some damage along the way, we're still hanging in there, it's very early in the game. Alaros is up next. He is standing right next to a cultist, a water cultist with this coral sword. The water cultist actually has 2 hit points, but has taken a point of damage from the wizard from before. Before I get started, I just wanted to say that I appreciate all of the comments on the last video. Your ideas and suggestions about how to use this Ring of the Ram was very helpful, and also about the movement in this particular version of the game. I just wondered how free it was in comparison to previous versions, because I know in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons it opened movement up a little bit more. So you could sort of break your movement apart and make a move and attack and then keep moving. But that's not really the case here. It's more of a matter of kind of like doors were in Wrath of Ashardalon. When you're moving your piece and you step on a trap or whatever, that you can keep going. But anytime you need to move and then take an action, then that's it. You're kind of done. So I'll continue it to play that way. It's a little more consistent with previous editions of the game, so it sounds right to me. So back to our fighter. He's got this stunned cultist in front of him. I think we're going to go ahead and try to take him out. So let's let him make his attack roll, and I'll choose his card. Alright, I think I'll go with the battle axe here that gives me a move afterwards, in addition to my normal move. If I use this card, make my attack, I may move up to 2 spaces before I take my next action. So let's see if we can take out the cultist. We're going with +6 on the attack, and that's good enough. That would hit even without any attack bonus at all, because his armor class is 13. So that's going to kill the water cultist. Alright, so we'll take this guy off the board, and we'll remove these little markers here. And we get to draw a treasure card. I'm going to do that before I forget to do that. And we've got some copper, which is worth about 100 gold pieces. For the first 2 steps of movement allowed by his at-will battle axe card, I think I'm going to take it in this direction. 1, 2. And then he's got his normal move, which he can move up to 6 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we probably could have gotten here anyway without the additional bonus movement points. But that's going to put him on the edge of the tile, which will allow us to explore and hopefully get us closer to our goal. Alright, we're leaving the hero phase, going into the exploration phase, and drawing a new tile. And look at that, we've got another white triangle, but 2 monsters. This looks like sort of an intersection tile. That should open things up in several different directions. So this tile comes down. We're not going to get an event card, which is always good, but we've got 2 monsters, so let's draw those now. The first monster is a firebat. Let me get that guy on the board. Here's my firebat. You may recall one of these came broken in my set, and I glued it back together, and so far it's holding. So I've got him placed. We need to draw our next monster card. And we've got a fire cultist this time. So let's see, he has a spear. We'll put him on the second spot back there. So that gives us our 2 monsters. Let's see, anything else here for the exploration phase? Nope, we're heading into the villain phase next. Well, it looks like we need to activate this fire bat first. It can attack you if you're within 2 tiles, so it's going to move adjacent and then attack with a fiery bite. So let's move him forward just a little bit here. Actually, just 1 space is enough. That puts him adjacent to our fighter, and we'll give a roll of the die here, and that was a 4. That's definitely not enough. Our fighter manages to raise his axe in defense and sort of swat this thing to the side. And then the fire cultist decides to move in. Maybe this was his pet fire bat, since they both seem to be from the fire elements. The fire cultist, well, his tactics are, if he's within 1 tile, he moves adjacent to the closest hero. We'll move him up here. They're both sort of blocking this passage now. And he will attack with this flaming spear. So let's let him have his attack roll. Armor class of our hero is 17. So with a 13, that's going to be good enough. That's going to total a 19. So another point of damage to our fighter. Well, added to the 4 that he already had, that's going to actually take him up to a total of 5. So his hit points are 10, so he is, well, he's halfway to being KO'd. So he's down half health. Well, I think it's time for our Cleric to take her actions for the turn, and she's also wounded, a couple of hit points of damage here. But our Cleric is standing right by the bugbear, so let's see if she can turn herself around here and do some damage to this thing. Well, I think we want to move close to the fighter and attempt a cure wounds if possible. So why don't we think about how to move, and then we can maybe make our attack here. So cure wounds, I really think I want to do that to the fighter, so I need to work out a way to make this happen. Well, let's start with our attack action and use this Warhammer. If we successfully hit the bugbear with it, we can move the bugbear 1 tile. It's only going to do 1 damage though, and that's not going to be enough to take such a large monster down. But we can mess with him a little bit. So let's go ahead and make our attack roll. That's a 16. A 16 is definitely good enough to strike this thing. So moving him 1 tile. Why don't we move him all the way off this tile? And I don't want him to attack the wizard, so let's move him back here. And then our Cleric can move. And there is an unexplored edge here. So kind of have to think about this. I can only use the healing if I am adjacent to the fighter. Maybe I can do that. Thinking about breaking up movement and all, I wonder if I'm able to sort of step forward a few steps and then during the middle of that use a utility power. I hope this is not against the rules, but it would be kind of cool if I could do this. I wonder if I could use Cure Wounds here. I only moved about 3 steps, and I've got a total movement of 5, so I've still got 2 steps left. Hopefully I can do this. Use Cure Wounds. That's going to heal our fighter for 3 hit points. And then the Cleric has an ability here on the character card which says that when you use a daily or utility power, and this is a utility power, one hero on your tile regains 1 hit point. And so I could even heal the fighter for a 4th point, or I could heal the cleric here for 1 point. I think I'm going to heal the fighter for 4. So let's see if we can do this now. We're going to use this utility power since we are adjacent to the fighter. We'll cast this spell, and that will change the fighter's hit point status from being down 5 to just being down a single hit point of damage. And then I guess we'll finish out our move and put ourselves here, and we'll prepare to explore. Alright, so being a utility power there and not specifically needing to take one of the standard listed actions, let me know what you think. Would this be a legal move to have already made an attack and use the utility power sort of along the way, much as you might use a healing potion or something like that? Let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and play it that it is legal, so I'm going to flip this over, and then we're moving into the Explore. We draw our next tile. We've got another black triangle. This one has a little bit of everything on it, it looks like. A black triangle here. There is a monster and 2 traps, so we've got several things to set out here. Alright, I've got a couple of trap tokens I haven't looked at. They're placed there. We draw our monster, and it looks like we have the Doppelganger making its first appearance in this game. And I think we need to check out this special ability right away. It says when the Doppelganger is drawn, place your hero on the start tile and place the Doppelganger in the square your hero previously occupied. Alright, so we need to get the Doppelganger figure out of the box, and it's going to replace our dwarf, and our dwarf goes back to the start tile over here. Alright, so was that the Doppelganger that actually completed the healing spell? That would be strange. Who knows what strange magic is within the Temple of Elemental Evil. Alright, the monsters are drawn. It's unfortunately time to get an encounter card. Alright, so this is where we're drawing the card from. I don't know, I think it's still going to affect our hero over here. So let's see what encounter we've drawn. It looks like Windswept. A powerful gust of wind lifts you up and carries you away. Remove your hero from play and place a new monster in the square your hero last occupied. At the start of your next turn, or your next hero phase, place your hero on any tile. Oh gosh. Alright, so the wind, I guess, was just swirling around in here, and we'll take our cleric off the board for the moment. We draw a monster to replace our cleric, and how fitting. It's an air cultist. So I guess that air cultist is going to go right on that spot where there's an opening. So I think later we can put the cleric on any place on the map. So now we've got to activate these creatures during the villain phase, and I think the first one we need to activate is the Doppelganger. Let's take a look and see what its tactics are. It says if the Doppelganger is within a tile of a hero, it moves adjacent and attacks with a Wicked Slam. Well, it's in the same tile here, so it's just going to move a step closer to our fighter and make an attack here with +4 to the attack. +4 to the attack roll. That's a hit. 19. It's 1 damage. So 1 damage goes back on Alaros the fighter. Alaros. 2 hit points now. And then we need to activate this air cultist. He's probably going to take a shot at our wizard or something. Let's see what he says. He says, if the air cultist is within 1 tile of a hero, it attacks the closest hero with a blinding crossbow bolt. Within 1 tile. That's going to qualify. Our wizard is right there on the end. So this cultist is going to take a shot. And if he hits us, we're going to gain disadvantage. Our wizard's armor class is not the best. It's only 14. And he's rolling +4 to the attack roll. Let's turn this around. That's a 16. That's going to total 20. So 1 damage to our wizard. And in addition to that, our wizard is going to gain the disadvantaged token. So here we have a first. The next time you make an attack roll, roll the die 2 times and take the lower result and then discard this token. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is have our wizard, or since we're starting the wizard's turn, the sun elf is, I think, going to try and I'd really like to be able to stun one of these enemies so they just don't all gang up on the fighter. But he can take shots from a long distance. Why don't we attack him first? And then we'll see if we can move a little closer to the rest of the party. So we'll go with Chill Touch. I think we used that before. But if we hit with this, it should be good enough to kill this guy. This is an air cultist. So armor class here is 13. And we rolled a 17. That's a 17. With +5, more than enough to hit. Only 1 hit point for the air cultist, so that guy is killed by this Chill Touch. So that goes in our experience point pile, and right now it looks like that total is going to add up to 5. So that's going to give us enough to cancel an encounter card if we need to. A treasure. We need to remove the cultist here, and we get to draw a treasure card for the elf. And what did we get? We've drawn, oh, a healing potion. How nice. Now the question is, who needs it the most? Our fighter's in a rough spot, so why don't we give it to the fighter? You know what? You know what I didn't do? I didn't roll twice for our wizard. The wizard had disadvantage. Let's roll that one more time. We rolled a 19. Ooh, a 4. Ouch. Well, that attack actually ends up missing. So I'm going to shuffle that healing potion back in. And our old buddy, the air cultist, is unaffected. So thanks to that blinding bolt that the cultist shot at us, we miss. Rats. That changes things. Okay, well, the attack is no good. The healing potion is not going to come up for another while, so we have to make our move. Let's make our move diagonally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I I've got one more point of movement, and I just have to decide here if I want to step on this trap or not. Let's be bold. Let's step on the trap. What do we get? It's clear. Woo. Nice. So we step on the trap. It activated. Or actually nothing was there. So we do get to explore. So we're heading into the exploration phase now. And we draw a new tile, black triangle. We're still pushing it and trying to get closer to our objective, but man, there's a load of traps down there. 4 traps down this hallway, but fortunately no monsters down this way. You know, I didn't choose to take the rogue along with us. I wonder if having the rogue helps with all these traps. If any of you want to leave a little comment about that, that'd be great. I haven't even tried the rogue or even really looked at it yet. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the exploration phase. So let's head into the villain phase. The wizard doesn't have any monsters to activate. So I think what we need to go to is just the encounter card. Alright, here we go. Robber. A shadowy figure appears before you demanding money. You may choose to lose 100 gold pieces, and if you do not lose 100 gold pieces, place a new monster on your hero's tile. So basically we're dealing with a bully down here in the Temple of Elemental Evil. Well, what do we think? I've only got 200 gold pieces on my wizard anyway. I think he just wanted half of that, so why don't we decide... look at all this green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't need any more monsters on the board, so let's take that and we'll give it up. We're going to pay off the bully, and that will bring us to the end of the wizard's hero phase. So that's going to complete another round of the game. Let me know if you've spotted any errors or if you have any opinions about the use of the utility power. I think I did a FAQ on utility powers a long time ago and talked about how they're not considered standard actions. I noticed here, looking at the wizard's abilities, there is a utility power here that says you have to use as an action. So that sort of makes me think that what I did should be allowed. I think the utility powers can be used at any time. But anyway, I'd be interested to know your thoughts on that. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you'll catch me for some more Temple of Elemental Evil.